What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Gay Show with the Kings of Pro Wrestling Podcast. I am Justin, here with Meelz, the former birthday boy, Meelz, the artist, the birthday
I
boy from Miss Meelz.
I was formerly 32. I'm now 33. Um I feel I've been thinking that I was 34 for like at least a week. Even today I got it messed up again. I was like I'm 33. Fuck. I keep got to say that. I'm in my if I'm 33, this is my Roman Reigns defeats the Undertaker year. So,
This is
uh
my.
what year is this for you? What year is coming up for you?
Am I 35?
That's a good question. Are you?
Hold on. Am I 35? I'm confused. I get confused, and sometimes I think that's because I'm getting old.
Yeah,
You know?
it don't really matter anymore at this point, right? Like
Yeah,
I
I'm 35.
remember
I'm about to be WrestleMania
okay,
36.
you're about to be WrestleMania 36. Wow.
Yeah.
Shut down for COVID.
Yep. Taking place in a small gym.
AJ Styles versus The Undertaker in a Boneyard match year.
Yep, that's me.
Um
Me.
well,
I actually
listen.
feel good at 36.
That's what I see. That's what I was saying too. Like all my friends, because I used to work in a college and I have a lot of friends of various age groups, and it's like, you're so fucking old. I'm like, listen, I'm just somebody got to turn 33. Like I'll
Here's
be
the thing, you're so old. How much money you got? That's what I'm at. I'm gonna say, how much money you got? Oh yeah? All
yeah,
right.
I'm gonna
Well,
be no. I
you're young.
just be like, listen, you'd feel bad if you didn't turn 33. Like you'd be tight if you never
I know.
made it to 33.
You be mad as hell in heaven, bruh.
I'd be mad as a motherfucker. I'd be mad as hell, bro. I'd be mad as hell if I didn't make it. So yes, every day is a blessing. I'm off this week. I'm trying to. I had so many things planned, and I planned it too late. So now I don't get to do any of them.
Last week you
Now
said that you didn't like you wanted to plan stuff in advance. Like, did any of that come to fruition, or is it just played it by ear?
So I remember I was like initially, what I did was initially, okay, I wanted to plan out, say, let me see if I could get a massage or something along those lines. And I looked at the dates and I was like, oh, okay, I can schedule this later. Boy, was I wrong. I tried to schedule it later. It is way past this week, the next opening. So I was just like, you know what? Maybe I won't do that this week. Maybe I'll do something else. Maybe, but I I have this weird thing where I like my own company. So it's very tough for me to plan to do things with people. Um, so that's a hurdle I'm trying to get across or get past because I need to interact with people. But other than that, I mean, I'm just chilling. I'm kind of just like
Do you feel as though
moving.
the pandemic kind of like made you like that?
Uh, yeah, I would say so. Yeah, I was before that. I had so many birthday things that I
Mhm.
planned, and I haven't done anything since
Yeah,
the
yeah.
pandemic.
I can see that.
I haven't done.
I could see that people being like, "Hey, like I'm in my own bubble. I'm in my own shell, and I like
And
it this
people have
way."
grown their own, yeah, and people have grown their own separate ways and stuff like that. Like when you go out of contact with people, like you realize a lot of people, especially like when I worked at a college and when I went to college, like a lot of people were your friends just based on necessity of them just being in proximity rather. Um, like I would see them every day, say what's up to them every day, but then you like graduate or you leave your job or something along those lines and you never really talk to them again. Um, so I was trying to teach that to the students that I had at my old job. I was like, listen, some of these people are really not going to be here for the rest of the year. So if you dub in this party, it's fine. Like you're probably not going to see them after you graduate, if you want to be honest with you. Um, let's see. What have I done? I went to, so I'm trying to look for a spring jacket because winter is just all but just fucking
Explain
failed out here.
it, rich shit.
Listen, I'm yeah, it's not really spring. And I mean, winter, we have a few gusts. Like we're gonna have like a 22-degree day like later this week. But realistically, like it was 60 degrees yesterday in February. It was 60 degrees on my birthday. It was it's
Yeah,
just not really wintering. So I'm trying to look for a spring jacket. I'm trying to really like where do I want to go? How do I want to get this? How do I want to look? Like has your let me ask you this, your own personal fashion. Do you feel like it's evolved over like the last like 5, 6 years or so?
I feel like it's devolved where it's like, and I was talking to Josh about this too. I was like, I'm very like still kind of like dressed the way that we dress back home. Like I'm very
Hmm.
like skateboard chic. Like I'm very like I've like moved over to sweats and pants now and
Yeah.
low top sneakers and hoodies. And it's like I'm not like when I'm really feeling it, I'll put some designer shit on. But I'm very much like comfort wear. I put jeans on last week and my wife was like, "What should I change?" And I was like, "What? Why would you change?" She was like, "Because I
That's
look."
hilarious.
She was like, "I look underdressed." I was like, "No, you're not underdressed. It's just that I put a pair of pants on that like they weren't." And it was funny. I was like, "These pants are not big enough. Not in terms of like they don't fit me, but they're like the legs. They're not big enough no more." They're
Yeah, the style has changed. We're back to the straight leg, a little bit loose type of thing now, where everything used to be like a little bit tapered and skinny at the bottom before, for sure.
yeah, like I was like, this isn't comfortable, but I was like, you know what? I spent a lot on these jeans, so I'm going to wear them today, and I like wearing them. You know what I mean? But it was also like, I'm very much like kind of wait, roll out of bed and go with whatever, and I think that works for me now. I'm trying to get my YouTube relationship couple beard. It's almost done, so the channel is coming. It's coming.
I can tell you, yesterday I was in Soho. I can't tell you how many essentials. Is it essentials or essential?
Essentials. Hey, I'm about to
Um,
get off that too. Just to
yeah,
let y'all know, 2023. I'm about to get off that too. It's too much.
yeah. There was like everyone, like every like maybe like 20 people I passed by had one, and I was like, damn, like this is what we doing. Like
See,
this is
the issue with essentials, right, is that
okay.
people are substituting that with knowing how to dress. Am I lying though? Like they
No,
think
you're not.
they can throw that. Like I'll put my essentials on in the airport. I'll put it on
Hmm.
to go run errands and just to be around the house. People are that's their fit. That's their fit is
I think
essential.
it's because of the cost. Like I think they associate cost with like style,
It's
and
cheap.
yeah. Um, and I think you don't really. I never really like to do that. I like to mix and match a lot of stuff. If I can find something for cheap, I'll definitely wear it. But if I can find something with a little bit more quality, I'll definitely buy that too. Like my days of like in college wearing H&M shit are over. It was over a long time ago. So now I try to get a little bit more like, stuff that quality, like pristine quality. No offense to anyone who wears H&Ms or shops there and stuff like that. It's just not for me anymore. Don't get me stuff from there. There's a funny story about someone getting me something from H&M and it not working out after that. But
Wow. All right.
um but nah, I would say that like that I feel like that's my where I'm at too. Like I have a lot of cargos and sweatpants
It's
and
just
jeans.
comfort.
Well, I don't even wear jeans anymore, to be honest with you.
And that's another thing that I feel like COVID kind of brought to us was that like, eh, let's do leisure wear. Let's do lounge wear. You're working from home, nigga. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
why are you doing
Denim.
this?
Who we here to impress, you know?
Listen, I got 3 good pair of denim. That's all you need. Like, and they go
That's what
everywhere.
I need to run that back. All my pants are from pre-COVID. Like all my jeans are from pre-COVID. I need new jeans.
Yeah, you
I
just
tried
need
what did I try getting? No, I'm not even gonna say. I don't want to blow up this spot. Someone who recommended me a pair of jeans and it didn't work out like at all.
they
I don't
tell
want
you
to blow
some
up this
supers.
spot. No. No. They recommended me buy I think it was Calvin Klein jeans. I'm not gonna blow up their spot of who it is because we
Nah,
both know the
you
person.
can't be wearing no CKs. Uh-uh.
It
Uh-uh.
just it didn't work out. It didn't work out. I didn't
Can't be
return them neither, so now they just weird.
yeah, see? You nah, not no CKs. Uh-uh.
I'm
I'm
gonna
not
cut
allowing
them, make them shorts.
I would like to see you wear shorts. I've never seen you wear shorts.
I wear shorts all the time, bro. I'm wearing shorts right now. I wear shorts all the time.
Is your legs match
Um,
too?
no, my legs are fucking massive.
All right. Yeah, no, I mean, it's really just I'm chill. I'm chill mode. I'm like dog dad mode. You know what I mean? I'm getting prepped. You know what I'm saying? I put together 2 cabinets. I showed you the picture of it
I
over the
saw.
weekend.
How long did
I,
that take you?
the first one it took me about because it was the first time building it, so it was like I went to IKEA and there's these really cool. They're called the Rudsta, and I use them for my models because I had like a little storage unit or like a little framing unit before.
Hmm.
And seeing the black print videos, you'll see what I'm talking about. And when you see the one this week, you'll see that I changed it, but they didn't fit everything. You couldn't like properly display. There was stuff in the back that you couldn't see. You know what I mean? Like there was just a bunch of stuff you couldn't see. So I bought one that could properly display the work that I've been doing, and I installed lights in it. So there's lights in it right now.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm on that. I'm on that now.
Listen, revolutionary builder, Renaissance. You're in your Renaissance period, man.
Listen, man, as a man,
As a
hashtag
man,
as a man, you should be.
I, how's your custom table coming along? I've been listening to the shows. How's that coming along?
Oh, the which one?
What? Which one? Wow. Okay.
I got
Um,
a I got a I got a custom coffee table downstairs. I got to show you the picture of it. I had someone
please do.
build a coffee table downstairs.
Yeah, I need to see that.
Yeah, it's dope. I'll send you a picture of it. It's amazing. It really is amazing. And my wife designed it, and the guy who designed it did a spectacular job. He designed the table that we see on Black Print too, that we have everything on. It's like a custom table. It's like
Mm,
marble on the top, perfect size, just beautiful. Like I'm really into stuff like that now. Like I'm into having
look,
like custom things.
look at that. We're a different wrestling podcast. We're
We're
we're just
growing.
different. It's just
We're
a
growing.
maturing.
Yeah, growing, maturing. My thing right now is my wife like stop buying gray sweatpants.
Oh, I mean,
You can never
I
have
mean,
two yet. I'm looking at a pair of gray sweatpants right now that I need.
yeah. It's the thing with, well, I know she knows, but it's really, to me, it's the neutral color that just, and the fact it goes with so many other different things is why I get it.
Everything.
You
It's
know?
that and like natural, like the natural color, like it's like khaki-ish color, like that goes well. We
Yeah.
got some fashion kind of tips today, and I appreciate
Ooh.
that because I feel like if you go to another show, they got Jordans that don't look right. Let me stop. All right.
We go, listen, man. You go a couple shows down, go find some nasty fits. You know what I'm saying? Um,
Let's hit Patreon really quick because there is something I actually do want to talk to you about that I feel like has been a topic in the chat, and I want to get your views on it too. So let's go to Patreon.
all right.
All right, we back again on the A Show.
Hmm.
Meelz huge weekend, lots of drama, lots of emotions, lots of stuff going on in Montreal. In Montreal and out of Montreal, if you want me to be honest with you, like there was a lot of stuff
Hey,
going
man.
on. Like,
I feel like this past weekend had a really big feel to it, and you can kind of tell WWE is in this major upswing right now, like a crazy upswing, because the mere fact that Elimination Chamber could feel the way it did going into it, to me, is only something you can do when the stars align. But realistically, I guess this is only something that Triple H could pull off.
oh yeah, I mean, we went into a B pay per view for all intents and purposes, a B pay per view, and came out of it
And
like that was
filler,
yeah, and it came off as to me, and I think it'll still be up there, Mills. I think it came off to me as one of the best pay per views of the year, and I think it will still be on my list toward the end of the year.
I agree as well. Like it's a, and we never say this about Elimination Chamber pay per view because it's such a, it's not even like a
Whatever.
misnomer. Yeah, it's like it's something that just happens, and you kind of got to deal with it. It's like, okay, we got to name some number one contenders, and we got to have a couple matches, and we're on the build to WrestleMania, and it's really just a stop. And you know, if there was Fastlane there, it'd be even worse. But
Yeah, I mean WWE announced today that this year's Elimination Chamber was the highest grossing, most viewed Elimination Chamber in company history. This is a string. This is a string from Survivor Series all the way up of events that are
From
most watched.
SummerSlam, baby.
Yeah.
SummerSlam.
And the streak continued here. Viewership saw a 54% increase versus last year's record in 2022. Largest gate for any WWE event held in Montreal. Largest gate in the history of Elimination Chamber. Roman Reigns' legacy continues. Like there's no doubt, right, Meelz, that he's gonna end up as like the greatest ever at this point.
No, there's no doubt in our mind. Like we're watching greatness currently in all facets and forms. There's no one who can deny this, to be honest with you. And I think if Roman Reigns ended his career tomorrow, he would be one of the GOATs for sure.
Right. It's really crazy to see that, like, just the numbers that he's garnering. And I'm not and that's not to um shit on or kind of lessen or minimize Sami Zayn's impact on this as well. But
Right.
for them to come back to Montreal after such a long time and give them something like this, it makes sense. They said this broke the all-time event merchandise record. There were so many Montreal shirts, like Montreal-based shirts. The KO had one, and he wasn't even on the fucking show. He had his own
You know,
Montreal shirt.
they broke the attendance for Elimination Chamber. Most people in Montreal in that Bell Center from the night before.
Right.
Which is SmackDown broke the record initially because they've only had about 4 pay-per-views there. And I remember this because I've been listening to Ariel Helwani all fucking week at this point. They've only had the first pay-per-view was Survivor Series 1997, which we all know how it went.
Yeah.
Second pay-per-view is No Way Out 2003, which you guys just note that it's coming up real soon. If you know, you know. And then Breaking Point 2009, who is all right, whatever. But this felt. I feel like WWE has never really, as much times as heralded as the Montreal screw job and all this stuff, they never really had that guy from Montreal. And now you have two. You have Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, who are on the biggest runs of their career. And this was incredible.
Canada wanted it. They really wanted it, man. They were whew, they were hot all week. And they were ready for it. And I think that what's like so cool about it is that it just felt natural. It wasn't like a Brock Lesnar match. It was someone from there. And they really wanted that thing to happen. And we got it. We saw SmackDown on Friday.
Can we
They
go through SmackDown a little bit, because there is definitely, I feel like there's a through line between all three shows except for Raw. Raw was kind of, but Raw was very, like, to me, like, oh yeah, we got 6 more weeks until this shit. But SmackDown, I feel like, had a lot of like improvement and forward stuff. Like we're thinking past Elimination Chamber with a few of these things that happened on SmackDown this week, for sure.
Yeah, for a couple of programs.
Yeah, for sure.
For a couple of programs. You had Bray Wyatt come out and say something. They got
With his
immediate.
man's Uncle Howie. I was like, what?
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, what?
Wait, is he? What is he now? What is he now?
This is man's.
Like, is he a face or a what? I felt as though he came back as a face.
I don't know what the fuck happened. I was like, yo, did I miss something? Like, he came out, it's his man's. He out there like bigging him up in the back. They about to do TikTok dances together and shit like that. I'm like, yo, what is going on here?
But Bray says, "Hey man, whoever wins against Brock and Bray or Brock and Bobby, I want in." And then the next night it was like, nah.
Brock
And we're
said,
gonna talk about that peculiar ass match when we get to Elimination Chamber proper, because hey man, hilarious.
Brock said, who said that? Who said that?
Exactly, just hilarious. Gunther versus Madcap Moss, who looks to be going through some type of character change. Um,
An interesting, an injection of interesting serum. Yes.
Yeah, just put a woman next to him, and he's right there. Hey man, I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the Sami Zayn thing at the end.
Well, how about the women's tag team match that opened the show? You had
Really good.
Natalia and Shotzi versus Ronda and Shayna. Uh,
Shotzi's been in them classes. Okay.
Listen, don't skip them. I don't even want you to see. I don't want to hear you skip a week
She been
because
in them classes.
she hit that cattle mutilation. I was like, okay, all right, I see you. You know,
And it's
you,
good to see that, you know, she is trying to live up to what her push is because she's heavily pushed. You know what I mean? Like she's out there. Her and Liv to me, they kind of have like the same type of vibe where it's like, hey, we're gonna push the shit out of them, and people are
right.
gonna really love them.
Yeah,
And
the people are gonna be behind him for sure.
yeah, and people are definitely behind her. I thought that again, like not a lot of people were really in love with the Ronda match, but I thought that again, like give it time. You know what I mean? I'm into the fact that like they're not completely giving up on people unless you're Lacey Evans, who was not on the show at all.
Because why? I mean, to be honest with you, like
I,
why?
it was someone even said it like countdown to them losing interest in her again, and they've already lost interest in her again.
Because there's at least like seven other people. Like, no offense, like I'm not saying the roster's too jacked, but there's a million. There's Lacey Evans, Zaya Lee got called up, never had a plan in her life. She was she was a nigga from Naruto for a couple weeks, and then that shit just dipped off.
Right?
Aaliyah, who's apparently been fine and well since like October.
Oh, she
Like that's what we've heard. I think she said it on Twitter or something along those lines. But there was definitely a report like she's been good for months, and she just hasn't been used.
Mania season, man.
Listen, also fucking let's see what else happened on the SmackDown. Oh, you gotta talk about. I mean, the Sami Zayn thing was a moment. I think a sustained applause for 5 minutes straight, worthy, and also like this is I said if he retires tomorrow, I'm sorry I keep using that, but if he retires tomorrow, I think he'll be straight with how everything kind of happened
hmm
because this is kind of like what you build towards. This is like I don't want to keep bringing AEW into this, even though we about to be honest with you. In fact, they brought themselves into this. We're gonna talk about that in a couple seconds. Um, but this is how you build towards something, right? Like I feel like AEW goes around the towns and they're just excited to be there, but there's no association with their talent, the towns they're from, the community that they're from. There's no building a ecosystem to
Yeah,
like where you can have this moment. The only real one was Punk.
and
Like
when Keith Lee debuted, but then right, Keith Lee came back last week, and they didn't do it on Dynamite. They did it on
they
Rampage.
they did on the preempted rampage
Yeah.
that
So it
aired at
was
7 o'clock.
like, what was the point of that? Like nobody even cared.
It's a and then the Miz stole the show after you hit that half court shot.
Oh God.
But well, listen, like it's like I'm not saying even if it's the little things because these aren't little things. These are like things you should do as a wrestler. Like a person's hometown is a large part of who they are, and even if you're able to tap into that for an extra amount of ticket sales, like you should be able to do that. Like there should be a pay per view where you go to Laredo, Texas, or something along those lines, and someone from there is featured on the show in a high profile manner, or you if you want Brian Danielson to really like be the underdog in this, have a show in I don't know Tacoma, Washington, wherever that is from. Um, but
Shit out
have a
there.
show there.
No, I
But no, I just feel like this was a great moment, and it felt good, and it was something I think we were all waiting for. The numbers have not come out for SmackDown yet, but I still imagine there are going to be big numbers coming out of this because the man said he got cheered for 5 minutes and like pretty much went on an emotional like, "Yo, we're gonna fucking win this," and the people were 100%, a million percent behind him. Like it was amazing.
yeah, I loved it. And I felt as though they could have just went the show could have went off the air at that point and it still would have been
Hmm.
cool. But again, it showed you that it was the hype that went into what we saw on Saturday. But what did you think of Gunther and Madcap before we get out before we go to Elimination Chamber? Like I feel
Well,
like it was a good defense.
I thought it was good. I thought it was, you know, clearly they have some plans for Madcap, and maybe this victory is supposed to be kind of like that pivot for him, or this loss rather is supposed to be that pivot for him. So it seemed like there was a lot of business going in and coming out of this match, but it was a great match, great back and forth. Gunther is a champion of champions, and he's winning this, um, for sure. So it was a good match. It was a good match. I can't say I was like super like, oh my god, yes, I'm looking forward to this, but they did good in the role that they had. And you've seen people like Madcap Moss get this opportunity. Um, and you can kind of see like, all right, they're at least giving people a chance. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though Leah hasn't been on the show, she's a former tag team champion at this point. Like, they're giving people a chance with things on the show. I think you just got to be patient, and it'll make sense in the long run. But
Eliminate.
actually, but wait, before we get off Elimination Chamber,
Oh yeah, this.
because we weren't the only ones watching SmackDown this week. So Ariel Helwani from Montreal, um, hometown boy, he's in the crowd. He's doing the VJ shit. You know, the shit they used to do on TRL. I'm out here with the people. Ah, oh my god. And you're like, it's a great fan base. Montreal's a great city, et cetera, et cetera. Like, they're doing all the jazz.
No one thought anything of it when it was out, when it was on. No
Be,
one thought
be,
anything of it.
because we were like, yo, 2+2, man. He's from Montreal. They're doing Montreal.
He
He's
doesn't
a
have a
he's a
website.
yeah, and to be honest with you, he's a freelance worker. He does anything what he wants at this point. He doesn't. He's not held to any company. He kind of just does what he's paid to do.
Right.
Want
to bring up the tweet?
Yeah, let's bring up the tweet.
I'll bring up the tweet.
Tony Khan had to be watching SmackDown.
I'll bring it up. I got it right here.
Dynamite was over.
Here it goes. Right. 8:56 p.m. You're a fraud, Ariel Helwani. You're as legitimate of a reporter as Tony Schiavone. Hashtag AEW Rampage. And then Ariel Helwani responds, "Thanks for watching, old friend. Can't wait for our next chat. Also, don't listen to the snowman, Schiavone. You're a legend in my books." And then Tony said, "Good luck with the unbiased journalism."
Say it like that. He's in his feels, but he's in his feels for the wrong person, for the wrong reasons.
Back against the wall, which has led so many people to come out and say Tony is right for doing what he said, or for saying what he said, doing what he did, tweeting what he did at 8:56. He didn't say, and this was brought up on Ariel's show on the MMA Hour the other day, which I listened to this segment. He didn't say like WWE sucks. He didn't say Roman sucks or I got the best wrestlers in the world. He singled out one person on there, which makes it look even more like he's like butthurt, like is like he is like so chafed by the fact that Ariel Helwani in his hometown was doing some correspondence for WWE, which made sense because everything in WWE last weekend was Canadian. Everything. You think Natty gets on that show if she wasn't Canadian? Hell no.
I think Edge ain't winning the fucking Elimination Chamber if he's not Canadian. Hell no.
There's no way he's winning if he's not Canadian. Everything was Canadian, so he had to have somebody there. They invited GSP. George St. Pierre was there. He ain't never been in no damn WWE show before. It's because he's from there. Then Tony says this, and everyone gets all up in arms, and you start to see the peanut gallery of wrestling quote unquote journalists talking about unbiased journalism without reading in between the lines the fact that he covers WWE for BT Sport because he can't cover UFC because of the beef that he has with Dana White. So he covers it. He doesn't report on news. He doesn't get scoops. He doesn't
The
get
only scoop he got, which was the only, and I don't even feel like it was a scoop because it was like use your brain, was that WWE was not purchased by the Saudis.
and that's a good point because it's funny that all these people that were parroting this, I mean, Sean Ross Sapp notwithstanding, I don't even know where he had stood on this Helwani issue, but everyone was going along with it. Oh, something big's gonna get announced. So for y'all to be like unbiased journalism, but y'all was not actually doing any journalism is really funny to me. And it feels like it screams to me like, I'm sorry to say, it sounds like jealousy. It sounds
It's
like
big
jealousy.
jealousy.
It's like I've seen somebody say he might not be able to cover WWE again. Why not? Or cover wrestling again? Why not? He got attacked. Okay, like Twitter attacked by
Mm-hmm.
a billionaire, and all of his little fans were agreeing with it. Does that sound familiar, Elon Musk? Does that sound familiar?
Amen.
Somebody who wants to be desperately liked. Does that sound familiar to me? To you?
This was, I don't know, man. I'm like, bro, you got to be shitting me. Like, I'm glad he responded the way he responded. First of all, what do you think snowman means? Um,
You can.
that's
There's ways to play it, like he was like frosty, like he's like he's cold. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like his show is cold. However, we all know what he meant.
We all know what he meant at
Funny.
the end of the day. However, like, I just think this is, you got to look at how he's reacting, look at his numbers, and kind of realize, look at his show, which to me I think was universally like shitted on last week. I don't know if it was universally. Some people still like the show, but he's not in an upswing anymore. He doesn't have the momentum anymore. His momentum, and you realize kind of how fragile his momentum was because it was really as opposing Vince McMahon. Oh, I'm opposing the 75-year-old man who writes the shows, and he's so out of touch. I'm writing the cool show. I'm writing the young show. And then Vince McMahon's no longer in power and creative, and suddenly the tides begin to change. It kind of makes you wonder, like, really, what were we touting the creative genius of Tony Khan, or were we just touting the fact it was an alternative that didn't really seem like it was run by the same people for the past 35 years?
Yeah, and it
Uh,
doesn't make it any easier or any more evident that AEW is kind of on the downswing than this swing that he took at him during SmackDown. And it's also like you're watching SmackDown. Like you are legitimately watching SmackDown. And I hope he took notes. I hope he took notes on how to do this.
hey man, Michael Cole fried him too.
But here's my other thing, Mills, is that there is nothing that is stopping Tony from calling Ariel to do the same thing. There's nothing stopping him from doing that.
You know what's stopping him? Fucking not having a creative bone in his body. Like the like there's yeah, yes, you're right, 100%. There's nothing stopping him from doing the same exact thing. But realistically, like, he doesn't think that way. He thinks in wrestling. He doesn't think of the production of an actual show. He just thinks of what matches is going to pop for cage match, and it's the. I don't want to say it's unfortunate because it's really not. Everyone who chose to go there chose to go there.
Yeah.
There's no like I was forced to go there to support my family. You chose to go there because you didn't want to be there. So it is what it is at this point. But he AEW fans, you need to call out this man and tell him to do better. Y'all do not need to be out here on Twitter saying shit like fuck, what was that tweet? I gotta pull it up now. But you don't need to be capping for AEW. You don't need
Yeah.
to be you need to be holding them accountable. As we've said this for like 20 years at this point. We need to hold them accountable for the things that they know are the shows that we're not getting. Like, why would you? I don't know. There's so
Did you
much
see
stuff. Go
the
listen to the Patreon segment.
Kenny interview where he now says that Cody actually did a lot for AEW.
Hey man, that boy Cody, man. You couldn't. We needed him at that point. I think he provided something else different. I was like, oh brother.
No, I, hey, people can change. People can come out of their feelings and say stuff as long as they figure that shit out, right?
Mm-hmm.
But also
But
with Kenny Omega, been said that his contract is either up or is about to be up. But though people are not sure whether he got 9 months tacked on because of his injury, but it's very heavily rumored that his contract is up at AEW.
mm-hmm.
What are we thinking?
So we came to this crossroads
So what? But before you say that, what does it mean for Kenny Omega to return to AEW?
Shit. I didn't mean to laugh. It means what does it mean?
Is it worth it? Like what is his worth there now that he doesn't even wrestle other people on the show that aren't in trios matches? He's in his
I
own
don't know
world.
what his worth there is now. I think I don't know what his worth is in AEW right now. Like I can't say he had a great championship reign, but I'm sure he's in the Cody situation where he was like, okay, I don't want to hold a title right now. I want other people to get a chance and stuff like that. But then at the same time, I guess you're not really doing what's best for business if you go this route. If you're one of the most popular people in the company and could potentially be the face of the company, you're not really doing what you really should be doing in terms for the best of the company. You're kind of just doing it for the best of like, to kind of like be polite in a sense. I don't know. We came at this crossroads in early 2019 when we were talking about it on the show, and we talked about Kenny's New Japan contract coming up.
Mhm.
And we were like, should he go to AEW or should he go to WWE? And realistically, I remember saying that he doesn't have to really climb the pecking order in AEW. He's just going to be the man in AEW. Um, and even that now, kind of looking 3 years later, it's like he's the man, but like, is he really what's driving the company? To me, if you're looking for the man of AEW, it's probably closer to John Moxley and MJF than it is Kenny Omega.
Mhm.
Um, but also said if he goes to WWE, you know, at the time NXT was popping big. He honestly probably would have skipped NXT.
Yeah.
Um, and had a similar AJ Styles run and kind of like them see where he kind of goes at there, but I'm not even sure. Like the personality type between him and AJ Styles is a little bit different, so I'm not sure if it pans out the same for him. I think Vince McMahon had a lot more respect for AJ Styles and how he carried himself, being a champion, multiple countries around the world kind of thing. Whereas I'm not sure if he has the same Vince McMahon would have the same respect for, video game guy who just has really a lot of good matches. I'm not sure if that would have translated very well.
Right.
Um, but it's interesting. We're at the same point again in 2023, and we're asking ourselves, should he stay in AEW where he would, without a, he's going to be the third highest guy, or he can start over in WWE where it's kind of fresh. If I were him,
You'd leave.
I would leave. Yeah,
I mean, I feel like we're kind of in a weird moment with Kenny, just looking at it outside looking in, where it just seems like he's been on kind of a probationary period or kind of purgatory, where it's like they really don't know where he's going to go next. And if Kenny and the Bucks leave, the structure of AEW, the look of AEW changes drastically. You know,
absolutely.
I don't know if that company with what they have, not having those guys is the company that people wanted it to be. To be honest, if the elite leave as well as Cody, that company's different. And if
That
and
company is NXT 2020.
I don't know if it's necessarily better with like MJF in his current incarnation at the helm of it.
I don't know if it's better. I can't even say. I feel like a majority of this is just based on how if there were better decisions being made and more creativity, it would be easier to kind of say like, oh, you should stay here because he has so much other things to go for and opponents to have. But realistically, like you've exhausted all of that so soon, and you've kind of diminished. I think he's diminished himself similar to how Cody did in AEW to not be the EVP who's kind of like being the world champion, not to have the Triple H backstage powers kind of deal. Um, but at the same time, I feel like you've handicapped your own company by doing that. Kenny Omega's in the trios division right now, but he's one of the bigger. Like he's in a place right now where he shouldn't be because the main event scene in AEW kind of really needs all the help that it can get,
Mhm.
and he's
They don't need
currently.
They don't need a trios division.
Yeah, they honestly, yes, they don't need a trios division at all.
Like I'm sitting here like, yeah. Wait, no, they don't need this division at
But
all.
he's taking a backseat on purpose to put over a trios championship. But
No one
realistically,
cares
like no one really cares about. AEW needs the help in all facets and yet. I'm not sure if Kenny Omega's a needle mover, but at least freshens up that division that's kind of looking for a place to put Adam Cole, looking for a place to figure out where the hell Chris Jericho is going to be every week. MJF, John Moxley, all these other people who are doing all these kind of things. It's like realistically, they need to hone in. If I'm Kenny Omega, I know based on who Triple H is and who Triple H understands that who Kenny Omega is, um, I would see. I think you can't.
experience.
You got to at least try.
Like we said last year, looking at what Cody did and how he got pushed,
Don't do
why
that
would
Sting shit.
yeah, like why would you not try after seeing how Cody's been treated? Why would you not try? Unless you don't have like the negotiation game that he did. I mean, Cody got a good agent from what I hear, but you know, I don't see why you wouldn't try at this point. I mean, what's the alternative? Being on a sinking ship. The chairs on the Titanic look nice too. You know,
That's funny.
still went down. You know, still went down. Um, Elimination Chamber. Let's run through the show real quick. Women's Elimination Chamber started the match. This is for a shot at Bianca Belair's WWE Championship at WrestleMania. I thought they was working. I've seen a lot of people down on this match a little bit, but I thought the match was actually pretty damn good.
I thought they did this great thing. And to me, this pay per view kind of really did feel it's weird. It felt like an NXT takeover
Right.
because it really felt like an opportunity for all these people to kind of like show what they had and show what they brought. And I would say the only match that didn't show me anything was the match after this. But um Asuka, Carmella, Liv Morgan, Natalia, Nikki Cross, Raquel Rodriguez, they all killed it. Like
Yeah.
I think they all killed it. Um I personally, if I were to say there was an unsung hero in this match, to me, I really like Carmella and what she did in this match.
Yes, playing the big spoiler in the match. I thought where people were thinking that Carmella could actually pull this off is very hard to do. And you didn't want to have Asuka be too dominant, even though she was pretty damn dominant in the match. But you're still getting over this new character of Asuka, but also trying to reintroduce Carmella and that she's a player here. Like she's been a champion. She's she's a vet. You know what I mean? And trying to play that off. And you had so many good personalities here that I thought that it really came off well. And again, like you said, Raquel did her thing. It might not be her year. Like it is so very blatant that it is not her year, but I think
Hmm.
this year is going to be her year. Like like after Mania is her year for sure.
I think so as well. I think they're just we're waiting until kind of everything settles after Mania to really put these people in position. But I mean, everyone really did really well in this match. Everyone brought their own thing. Asuka ends up winning it. I mean, I think everyone and their mama picked Asuka. Um, it was a good match. It was a
Yeah.
good match. A great opening to the show.
Right after this, you had Brock versus Bobby. Started off well. I think that we were all like expecting it to run the way that it did. Um, there was the Bray thing looming over it, which had us scratching our heads.
Yeah.
So when Brock hit the low blow, which is a lame ending. Admittedly, this is the worst match on the show. Honestly, it was the worst match on the show because not only this, but it screams that I don't know who. I'm not gonna, point fingers. But somebody in that match said, "No, I'm not facing Bray," and somebody said, "I want to do something different, and I don't want to do this Bray shit." But my thing is this: if Bray, and I'm gonna go to Raw here for a
Hmm.
second, but if Brock is gonna say no to fucking Bray, he's tired of the Bobby Lashley stuff. Bobby, you get your W, whatever, DQ, whatever. We're not going to finish this off. Why would you then put Omos in his direction? That is not what we want to see.
I feel like Omos is a. I don't feel like he's gonna be the actual opponent. I feel like he's a not a distraction. What would you call it?
Smokescreen.
Yeah, I feel like he is that. I don't think he's actually gonna face Omos, but I could be wrong. But because I feel like that would be like a Vince McMahon ass shit thing to do. But also, I don't know. Brock Lesnar, WrestleMania, biggest WrestleMania of all time.
On
He
the
doesn't
other
really have. Go ahead.
on the other end, Bobby and Bray isn't something I want to see either. I'm gonna just be honest with you, like not to like this was like I like Bobby Lashley. I am kind of over Bobby Lashley, if that makes sense.
I think he's good as a face, and him in any other kind of role to me isn't as it doesn't hit as hard. Like it's not
He's
poignant enough.
he's been babyface and heel back and forth for the past 2 months.
Yeah, and the fact that even that's the case is to me it doesn't it to me this clearly feels like there's no direction for Bobby, right? Like they don't want to put him against Roman.
But he's
They just
always got to be strong. Like
yeah.
again, we're running into 2020 Lashley here, where it's like you don't have nothing for him, but he's always got to beat people that like probably have something better going for them or something like that. Like you ended this whole feud between these two so flat. You could have just had Bobby win. You know what I mean? You could have just had Bobby win clean, and it wouldn't, and Brock wouldn't have been hurt at all, in my opinion. It wouldn't have hurt. Like what would have hurt them to have? What would it have hurt them to have? Like shit, Gunther or even Bray. Fuck it, even Bray come out and distract them, and then lose that way. You know what I mean?
I feel like we're gonna get a stipulation match in WrestleMania. It's got to be something, right?
I
Like,
don't know. This was the most perplexing decision on the show, and people want to say it's a Sammy thing. No, this was because technically, okay, no one really won by pinfall, but Bray still has this challenge. Is the challenge now null and void? Also, where's LA Knight? But is the challenge now null and void? Like, I don't know. The thing is, trying to book around Bray when it seems as though Meelz there's so many people that don't want to work with Bray is really interesting.
right?
It looks like Roman don't want to work with Bray. Brock don't want
Hmm.
to work with Bray. Bobby, it don't even seem like he's really about to go. Well, he mentioned Bray, so it looks like that's going to be the direction. But like, it don't seem like nobody wants to work with him. So
It's a
I don't
tough
know.
beat.
It is. It
Bray's
is
a,
quite the tough
Bray's a
beat.
tough beat, man. It's a. I think really, realistically, the only person who got the best out of Bray in a program, I wouldn't say a match, but a program, is Randy Orton, and I can't really think of anyone that the program seemed cool and it seemed like very interesting from week to week than the Randy Orton thing. I mean, Randy Orton got set on fire and came out with a melted shit on his face. Um, there's a lot of things, but yeah, this was the most perplexing. I didn't like any. I could care less for this match. I would tell you, to be honest, to skip it if you're rewatching this, because it's you don't really gain anything from it. You don't lose anything from it. Brock Lesnar not only gets disqualified, he hits an F5 on Lashley after the match, and then hits an F5 on him through the table, and then also F5s the referee
Got his
through the
heat back
broken
for
table.
what? Yeah, got his heat back for what? No reason for him to get his heat back here. He could have just lost. We've been seeing him lose all year. He could have
I
lost
feel
again.
like I feel like he won because he's Canadian. Or
Oh yeah.
he looks strong because he's Canadian.
After this, the Grit couple faced off against the Judgment Day.
Love this
Um,
match.
say what?
I said I love this match.
It was a good match. Rhea is operating on a different level, and it is scary to have a company where you have Bailey, Becky, Asuka, Bianca, now Rhea, and then on like kind of the mid card role, you have Liv, well shit, you got Ronda too, you got Raquel, you got so many talented women right now
Hmm.
that are operating at such a fucking crazy level that are gonna probably all be on this show.
I would hope so.
I think it's pretty clear that we're gonna get at least 6 of the people I named there.
Okay. I think I think Rhea Ripley worked a great match during this. I thought Finn Balor, I thought all parties involved did a great job in what they're supposed to do.
Mhm.
Um, I think uh, again, I'm wary of how this Rhea Ripley Charlotte thing is going to work out. We're going to see it on Friday in person. to kind of just see how it feels. And
Two
I
two
feel like
programs getting set up. Two programs getting set up on Friday.
absolutely, and I think Dom and Ray and Rhea and Charlotte. But I think this will be a good indication for WWE as well because they haven't really been in the ring against one another, and you kind of gotta. There's a way to make Charlotte the face in this situation easily, but will she? I don't know.
I would. I really would. And I think Rhea was kind of doubling down on her doing something diabolical too. And I'm a lipo. I'm a lipo it.
Yeah, that's what realistically I have to do. I kind of have to see it in person. I got to see it in the store. This is like one of them jeans like you see online. You're like, I don't know. Let me go
Try
to
it
the
on.
store. See the yeah. Let me try it on. Let me see the stitching on this shit. Um, and you see what happened. First of all, shout out to Edge kicking out that brass knuckle shot because Beth almost missed it.
Yeah, she's a Oh
The
my god.
simultaneous power bombs. What else happened here? Glam slam. All these a shatter machine. That was a nice touch. Um,
Very good. I became a lot less convinced that Edge was leaving WWE to go to AEW or whatever after this match.
he, I think he wants to. He realistically does want to end his career at some point, relatively soon. But I think he's having a lot of fun as well because he's putting his working
Yeah.
boots on. He's realistically like he's had to wrestle three different styles in three different decades.
Yeah.
Um, but he's acclimating to the environment that he's in, and I think that's awesome. And it's in. Well, we'll get to it when we get to Raw.
Yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, we definitely have to get to that anyway because that has huge implications for a report that came out hours before Raw came out, but
Hmm.
or hours before Raw came out, and everyone was like, "Oh," then you see it and it's like, "Oh wait." Men's Elimination Chamber. I'm speechless still about this match. I know a lot of people are very partial to the Goldberg Elimination Chamber, um, but I think this is the best Elimination Chamber they've ever done.
I think the Goldberg one to me was a force of nature. So I still have that one pretty high up because I think realistically it told a really good story, and it was a very. I remember being so mad at that ending. I was like, "What the fuck? How the hell did Triple H pin Goldberg? Like the fuck?" I was like, "What?" Okay,
He can't keep getting away with it.
that's that was me. That was OD me. He can't keep getting away with this shit. The man has a torn groin and still won the match. Um, but this was a really good match. This kind of took me back to the NXT days. Like this is, and shout out to everyone who was in this match. I mean, everyone got something,
Hmm.
and the Montez Ford shit. I don't know what. Listen, Bianca hooked him up first of all.
Yeah, real. I
Made
said
him
this
look
is
like
a real beer.
made him look like a solo star, baby. Made him look good. I was like, damn, this nigga fit is fire too.
Even like going into it, we were like, we knew Montez was gonna like, glow up and really look really good in the match. Everyone looked, everyone played their position, and even
Hmm.
if you were iffy on Bronson Reed, you came out of this like, yo, I'm sold on the guy. And even on Monday, I'm like, even more. I'm like, damn, am I fucking with this nigga? Like,
A little bit.
yeah, like Gargano hurt himself, but again, he was going crazy in the match.
Fucking all right. So I mean, there's a ton of great moments in this match from Montez coming off the top. I mean, Damian Priest doing his thing in this match. Well, I want to give him his props as well.
Hurricane Rana off the top of the pod.
Of the pod, oh, bruh, everyone teaming up to eliminate Bronson Reed. And then I think Montez had two eliminations in this, which was like, oh, okay. All right, we doing
They
this.
clearly made him out to be a star. Austin Theory, again, if this is Austin Theory's kind of pool of contenders, so to speak,
Hmm.
during his reign, it's going to be good. And he is at least, he's not like a indie flippy guy. he at least has the timing and the wherewithal as a heel and as a character to know where he stands and make him hateable. I really feel like Seth to me was kind of the odd person out because it felt like he didn't belong with all
Hey
these.
man, but they made it work anyway. They had Logan Paul show up. Wasn't advertised to be there. He just
Yeah.
pulled up. Um, like everybody else at this point. He flies anywhere. I'm pretty sure he got his own private jet. Man hit the cleanest buckshot lariat I ever seen in my life.
All right.
The
Here you go.
clean in my it's bet. Listen, man, he might have to retire that move. He might have to retire the move because Adam Page ain't doing it the way Logan Paul doing it. This man the way he swung, his momentum came in the swing down. Like it wasn't even like I land on my feet and I'm gonna hit you with the lariat. Nah, this nigga was on the way down, hit him with the. I was like, damn, this is a
He's
great
good.
buckshot lariat. He's
But
good.
I was
He's good.
hoping that he was going to HBK it because that hasn't been done in a really
Oh,
long time where someone interferes.
came out the little thing, came out the
Yeah,
little. That's
like
still pretty raw.
I thought that the HBK school of screwing someone out of Elimination Chamber to me is one of the best Mania setups, and I'm glad that they're kind of using it here on Seth. I would expect him to show up on Impulsive to beat somebody ass very soon.
Beat up his friends. That's
They
what I would
already
do.
got beat up.
Beat him up again, man. Y'all in the business too.
They already got beat up, man. God damn. But no, I mean, I couldn't give this any more accolades than it's already gotten. It's my favorite match of the year so far, bar none. It's probably this match and Kenny Omega and Ospreay are my two favorite matches of the year so far. So, main event time. When you watch the main event between Roman and Sami, were you kind of like on your feet, like what's gonna happen, more than really watching the match?
No, because I knew it was gonna happen. I'd resign to the fact, like I'm
I mean,
not the person.
like storyline wise. My bad. Not like who's gonna win.
Okay, storyline wise, I would love to continue to talk about how this entire fits within the mold of the Giant story. It's kind of I knew that KO was going to come out. Um, everyone was saying Jimmy and Jay couldn't make it into the country. I mean, I just had to see it for myself. I wasn't gonna take there. I don't take like reports that people swear like, oh, they in jail, they can't leave the country. I'm like, bro, this is Canada. Like, I don't know. Um, maybe not like go overseas, but like Canada, yeah, probably. I thought this was a great homecoming. I thought this was a great opportunity to be for Roman Reigns to finally live in his element of being a heel.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I thought this told an amazing story. I think even using Sami Zayn's wife, I was like, damn, you got a wife? I didn't know that.
No one did until the morning of Elimination Chamber.
It's like his wife. I was like, damn, all right. She owned a coffee shop. She looked nice. Um, but I thought this was amazing. I just really did. I mean, it's not a 5-star match to me, but I think it had all the elements where the people are this is what you want out of a wrestling main event, right? You want the people involved, you want there to be a clear, concise bad guy, a good guy that everyone is rooting for, and a major stakes on the line. And I think Sami Zayn, I think even at some points we look past the match to figure out where this story is going because the story is that damn good. And I feel like that's kind of what I did with this match, if that makes sense.
No, it did feel good. Like it felt like if you wanted to make Sammy look like a top guy, you did it. On the level of KO, which I've always felt like he's never really like Sammy's always been next to KO, but never felt like he was on the same level as
Right.
KO, if that
He
makes
kicked
sense.
her out
As
of a
they've been,
spear and an Uso splash.
mm-hmm. And they made him here. It gave me shades of when Sammy won the NXT title in NXT, where
Mm-hmm.
that was the moment he crossed over into just not just being a jokey kind of fun guy, and they just everything was so meticulous and so great, to the Jimmy appearance, to I think I have one complaint, but everything just made a lot of sense except for the one thing, and that was Jay coming out and not doing anything. I was confused as to why he was out there, and
Yeah.
he didn't get physical. He was only there to get speared, and he never showed up again. And I thought that that was a weird moment in the match that I thought needed a little bit more explaining. And I don't know how you could explain it, but other than that, everything made sense. And there was just a sense of like, even when Roman beat him, he wasn't cocky when he did it. He felt like, like what the fuck is going on? Like I'm losing everything. You know what I mean? And I think that again, if this is the fall of the bloodline storyline, is we're continuing it, it was a great next chapter. And it was a great bridge to it. Then you get KO coming out. I've never seen Roman Reigns get laid out at the end of a show before.
Mm-hmm.
So for people to complain about Sami not winning, he got the moral victory that not even John Cena got, not even Brock Lesnar got. They don't ever beat up Roman at the end of the show. He's always standing tall, and Michael Cole is saying, "We'll see you later." That did not happen this time. He got his moment, and that's something Drew didn't even get in his hometown. You know what I mean? Like that, just not. He got a lot, and I feel like people need to understand that even if he's not the direction, he did get a lot in terms of how he'll be perceived now as a babyface. Because this is one of the best heel to babyface turns I've ever seen. Um,
I think, I mean, there's a lot of elements with Sami Zayn and his shining. I mean, they got his old music back, which is great. I mean, I wouldn't have cared if they kept his new music, but the old music back is a nice touch. I think um it's weird. Like we're in a space. I feel like this is definitely is it's kind of like a little reminiscent of the Attitude Era, where you kind of have new stars kind of really being pushed to the forefront. Like you're developing more people that people want to see, and this isn't a bad problem at all because now you have Roman, you have Seth. Those were usually the people that everyone kind of clamored for, and then you also had Bianca and Becky and all this stuff like that. But now you have Cody, you have KO, you have Sami Zayn. These are people that like legitimately, when the TV is on, you're going to want to watch them. Um, they're not like middling in a feud with Elias, or they're not spending too much time with Baron Corbin, even though they did that shit. But these are legitimately like people that people are behind and kind of want to see, and they hold a very strong place on the roster.
yeah,
Um, I also think I agree with you about the Jey Uso thing. I didn't really like how he got like speared accidentally, because I'm like, bro, if this is like the end for Jay to get back with the bloodline, which I don't think it is. To be honest with you, the way I tell this story is Jay does not side back with the bloodline ever again. In fact, Jay is the one who now has to reconcile with his brother a little bit. Well, on the
yeah.
same side, Kevin Owens has to reconcile with his brother, and they have both teams kind of have issues they need to get through. But ultimately, they choose brotherhood in their own various ways over kind of like, I guess, the Roman esque kind of alignments. Are you with Roman or
Essentially,
are you not?
essentially, Jay has to choose Jimmy in the same way that Kevin has to choose Sammy. You know what I
Right.
mean? And as that kind of, if they can tell that story and thread that needle, because they've thread that needle very carefully to a point where no one was even sad that Cody came out on Monday. It was with it because now it's like, no, we just want to see them all lose the titles. And people finally want to see that. People finally are not cheering these people. They're not cheering the bloodline. And I think that that's just an amazing kind of like way that they've impacted this whole storyline in the last week or so. Is
I,
that now you do not cheer these people?
do we need to wonder where Solo was? Is there something that we need to worry about?
I wouldn't worry about it. I wouldn't worry about it.
I feel
I,
like, well,
I did see an idea floated that maybe Solo helps Jimmy defend the titles against KO and Sammy if since Jay doesn't want to return.
that would be weird as fuck because he's not the tag team champion. And if I was Jay, I'd be like, I'm not giving back my belt. Fuck out of here, nigga. And he's probably gonna say it just like that too. But no, it's a, you know, it was an interesting circumstance. The ending, certainly, I don't think it was the big climax moment that Royal Rumble is, but to me, this is the transition point of let's move this feud on. Roman Reigns has defeated, he moves on to WrestleMania, and so do Kevin and Sami. They move on to WrestleMania as well.
Mhm.
And you saw that Jay, I mean, there was at least some contact, so there's something there that you can kind of go off of. Jimmy also along there somewhere. Um, can we move on to Monday Night Raw on that kind of promo?
Yeah.
The promo where essentially Sami Zayn kind of comes out, and for a long time he was clouded by the fact of, I guess, his alignment with Roman Reigns and like what, not necessarily, I don't think he was ever in lust for power, but I think he just wanted to be heard and also associated with
And
something.
respect. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think he found that in the bloodline, whereas he didn't over the last year and a half, where he was with, where he's with Shinsuke and Cesaro, or he's with himself, or doing his own conspiracy kind of thing. All he wanted to do was really be heard. Um, but you realize it's not, not all good friends. Not all friends are good friends. And now he stands in the ring and he calls out Kevin Owens and says, "You've tried your best at taking on the bloodline, but you could never do it by myself. And I could never really do it by myself either. So what say we do this together?" And I thought that was like, okay, it's kind of like recalibrating where they're kind of at in this story now. Um, Sami Zayn isn't saying like, "I'm gonna go fuck Roman Reigns up and invade the main event of WrestleMania." I think he's conceded the fact that he's not going to WrestleMania. I think for the WWE Championship, and I think everyone can concede that as well. Um, but then KO comes out and he says, "Listen, man, I ain't do that for I ain't really do that for you," which he's capping. He's a big capping. Um, he says, "I ain't do that for you. I did it for my family, who had to watch me get my ass kicked on the Royal Rumble in front of a record-breaking crowd."
While he
Uh,
stood there, mind you, mention while Sammy stood there, and then you forget that because they only play the chair shot, Meals. He did sit
yeah,
there and watch them do that for 5 minutes.
it was like, but he was a little trepidatious. She's like, "Hey guys, I think we can stop now. I think 17 super kicks are enough." Um, but he's like, "I also did it for your family because
So they didn't see you get beat up like my family saw mine get beat up. And I said, I thought that was a really good reasoning. One thing I love about the way that they're writing, like Triple H's creative team is writing stuff now, is that the baby faces don't look stupid anymore.
mm-hmm.
And they're bringing up things that they saw, they're bringing up things that we saw, and they're bringing it back so that we don't have to be on this show saying, why didn't he bring up the fact that Sami Zayn looked bigger?
Right." And then he ends the promo with essentially, "If you need someone to take down the bloodline, go talk to your nigga Jay."
Talk to your little girlfriend.
Talk to your little girlfriend because I don't need no help. I'm gonna do this by myself. I'm gonna live by myself. I'm gonna do this by myself. And I thought that was amazing. I thought it was great storytelling. We know where this is all going because we all watch fucking pro wrestling before.
But it was also weird that that people were saying that Sammy and KO should have hugged in the ring. And I said, no, 6 weeks left. What are they gonna do?
I think people do want to see KO and Sami Zayn hug in the ring, but this is show business, baby.
Like, God damn, they was like, they can't hug each other. They can't address. No, Sammy low blowed him at Survivor Series, man. Come
He
on,
beat him up
man.
for months, man, for months.
This is crazy.
But I'm interested to see where this goes. I want to know the big climax point. It's got to be within the next couple of weeks at this point. It's got to be at least because they got to tell the story of them reconciling, and then they also got to like pretty much kind of solidify them as an actual team itself before we get to Mania. So I'm looking forward to that. Baron Corbin comes out, gets his ass handed to him by Sami
They had, to,
Zayn.
I had to let Sony get his Sammy get his heat back, so I get it.
Hey man, because the man he looked ravaged, bro. You see his back, you see his front. I thought it was like, yo, who whipped this man? This
I
man.
mean, I guess we lead right into like the Cody stuff because a lot of Raw was just kind of like there this week.
Yeah.
But I get it because again, they've been working all last week. This was kind of like all right, Joe, we can take a rest. we can take the foot off the gas a little bit.
Right.
The Cody promo with Heyman and the neck brace, and I'm wondering what is going to be the outcome of this because I feel as though this will definitely have some sort of outcome for Mania. Whether it be Cody taking out Heyman for talking that shit, or and having Roman come out by himself for the main event, which is something that I feel like is a very real possibility.
Mm-hmm.
Or
You don't think Brandy Rose coming out and calling him a black bitch?
Stop it.
Okay.
Please stop. But I thought that again, you're kind of they're playing to Cody's emotions of him being the guy that never got to get there, and the burden of his father. And again, like at this point, I'm like, what day are they going to face off? Because that's going to be 2 million, 2.5 million guaranteed. The day
Well,
that
you
they
know where it's happening.
where
It's gonna happen on SmackDown, baby. It's not gonna happen on no damn Raw.
it has to, right? It has to. Like, um,
They're gonna
I
say
just wonder
Cody
when he's
Rhodes is coming to
going
SmackDown, and I'm gonna be like, okay, cool. Let me figure myself out.
to. I don't know. When do you think it's going to happen? What week?
John Cena comes back to Raw soon. Where's John Cena back?
2 weeks.
I could say I'm thinking either next Friday or the Friday after that. To be honest, it's too many damn shows at this point.
It's just 6 weeks.
When is Roman? Do we have a Roman Reigns tour schedule? Do we have a Roman
Roman's
Reigns?
going to be on Raw in March. He's going to be on Raw in March.
Let me see.
Um, he's
Roman
set
Reigns
for
schedule.
March 20th in St. Louis.
Nigga, that's too far.
A
they gotta
month
see
from now.
they gotta see each other before then. Damn. Match schedule. Okay. Yeah, they gotta see each other before then. We can't wait till March no fucking 20th. It's damn near the 20th of February right now.
And that would be the week before. God damn, that would be the week before Mania.
Yeah,
I would
essentially.
go. I would go ahead and say that he would probably be in the 20th and 27th episodes of Raw. But even then, it's like niggas ain't getting tired of this, of him not being on Raw at all.
Nah. I don't know. No. But I like when he's on Raw, but I don't really need him on Raw because
For
I
this,
feel
he
like
should be on Raw.
he should be on Raw for sure. But I feel like he looks better on SmackDown. I don't know. Raw is just I don't know. Raw and Roman Reigns don't jive with me as well as Roman Reigns on SmackDown. But I don't know.
Had a bad experience there, but I thought it was a good promo segment with Cody. Cody didn't have much to say this week. He actually apologized for like the length of the promo.
Damn, I ain't get my shit off. I'm sorry. I know y'all needed that.
I feel like Heyman definitely went long because he was actually there. That was not a pre-tape. He was actually there. He did not go long. That was not a pre-tape.
He a totally ass nigga, just like we are.
Exactly. So that's what I'm trying to get us through. Bianca meets Asuka. Things occur. Edge versus Austin Theory.
You know what? I wasn't really paying attention crazy, but they did kick it up a little bit. I think it was a good TV main event.
The fact that Austin can work with the vet like Edge and not look timid or again kind of like he was out of his depth says a lot to his growth in the past 2 years.
Well, he's got to prepare for the big one that's coming up soon.
Yeah, he has to get ready for that. He does mention Cena this episode. He mentioned Cena and he says he will be waiting for him to show up on Raw. So that looks to be a lock right there. I can see why Stone Cold said no to this Mania. I can see why he said no to this Mania. There's no air room. There's no like airfield for him. There's no room for him on this.
No, you're right. He probably will still appear. Maybe I
Yeah,
don't know.
he lives up the street, so like he probably still show up.
Pull up. We get you to work like Ariel.
But in the end, Edge, who says, and when he said this, I said, "Nigga, it ain't over," because you say this all the time. He said, "Judgment Day's in my rear view," and I said, "Oh, they're gonna interfere."
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
but it's
I
only
ain't doing
fair.
nothing. You ain't doing nothing. Shut the fuck up.
And so a couple hours before Raw, someone, Sean Rossat put out a article saying, they don't know when they're going to do the demon thing, and the demon thing was supposed to happen in January, it's supposed to happen last month, and Edge's schedule stopped it from happening. So when Finn came out, I said, "Oh, we're definitely getting the demon at WrestleMania. We're definitely getting Edge versus Finn Balor. Probably Brood Edge versus Demon Finn. They're like 1-1, right? Like pinfall wise, or is Edge 2-1? But
I
it's all
actually don't remember this feud. I find it very interesting, and I like the fact that the impetus of Judgment Day happens at WrestleMania last year, and I guess it all ends at WrestleMania this year.
Mhm.
It's kind of a long form storytelling that I don't even think was intentional, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
Um, I think it's really because they really don't have anybody. Like, if Edge isn't facing at Finn, if Edge isn't facing Finn at this Mania, he's probably facing Bray or Bobby. Like,
it'll be
and
Finn.
yeah, no, it's definitely Finn. Um,
Finn on the Mania
but
card. Wow.
listen, man, and if he gets to do the demon, I mean, I haven't seen an evil demon yet. Maybe I got to look back into my. He's probably done it before,
He
but
has done the demon when he was heel before. Yes, look up like Finn Balor, Carnage Demon. I believe it was versus Kota Ibushi. Or no, it was against his old tag team partner Taguchi. I
okay,
believe. Look that up. He dressed as Carnage. But if there's a IP combination he could do with the demon paint this time, he'll probably do it with that too. But I
Mountain Dew Pitch Black, baby, come on.
hey, it could happen. But I think Finn and Edge, if that's the direction, I think it's a good direction. I think again, night one is probably going to be like the wrestly show. Night two will be the spectacle show, and I will put Edge and Finn on night two.
I agree.
That's
Um,
wrong.
did you like Lita coming back and doing her thing?
I liked it. There was a bit of awkwardness after they got the belts, where I feel like no one knew what to do. I was kind of awkward. Dakota is not healed, so I don't know how they're going to make that work.
Chicanery, something. I don't know. This is a very interesting program. How they're kind of just like shoehorning Lita into it.
What if it does end up being Damage Control, Becky and Lita versus Ronda and Shayna at WrestleMania? That's a big time match.
I think it is as well.
That
Yeah,
makes those tag titles look way more important than they did last year.
no, for sure, for sure. Because they ain't really doing nothing with them, to be honest with you. Io don't even seem that interested. She's like, whatever. Io just
You're
chilling.
like, you're like, can I get my solo run now?
Yeah. Like, this is
I'm not gonna lead the squad, but can I get my solo run?
yeah. So I think that would be fun. That would be fun for sure. Um. Oh yeah, that was raw. I guess.
That was wrong. Thank you guys for listening to the A Show this week. We were 6 weeks away, 5 weeks away going in. And yeah, I'm hella excited for Mania more than I was last year, I think. And I was going last year, but here we are, another one that's going to be a pretty big shakeup for the company, and I can't wait to see what happens next week. So thank you for listening. Make sure you check out the War Report. I pray for them every single week. I pray for them. We get to talk about the man of the people, Sami Zayn. They got to talk about MJF, vehicular homicide. So
Hey man, Jinder Mahal is gonna be on NXT this week, going
oh
for the
god.
NXT Championship.
Oh God,
So
pray for them. I'm so sorry, y'all. So I'll see you. We'll see you guys next week on the A Show. For Meelz, I'm Justin. Peace out, y'all.